Hi everyone, and thanks for joining our TMC live session for Public Services and Criminology. I'll shortly pass you over to Frank, Holly and Hayley, who are part of our Public Services and Criminology department at the Manchester College. Tonight they're going to provide you with a showcase of our range of Public Services and Criminology courses. If you've got any questions at any point, you can ask them in the live Q&A box, which is on the right of the screen, and we'll answer as many of those questions as we can at the end of the session once they've complete the presentation. I'll now pass you over to Frank and Holly and to get this session started. Over to you, Frank.
Evening everybody, and welcome to the Manchester College, the Centre of Excellence for Public Services and Criminology. Thanks, Christian. My name is Frank Harrison and I'm responsible for the Level 2 Public Services programme at the Manchester College, and I'm joined by my colleague Holly Williamson, who is responsible for Level 3 Criminology, and you'll meet Holly a little bit later on. I'm just going to go through some slides with you, and if you generate any questions, then please type them out like Christian said, or ask them at the very end. That'd be fantastic. Just a few things. Sports and Public Services Department. Our head of department is Hayley Francis, who's also going to be in the question answering session at the end. And just to point out that Hayley is in charge of the Sports and Public Services programmes, and after the last officer inspection, we are now looking to go towards outstanding, and Hayley is very able to lead that, and hopefully the team will achieve that. We've got some fantastic staff, and I'm not just saying it, we are delivering programmes right across the board, which I'll show to you now as we go through. But first of all, just a little bit of an advert for the Manchester College. They want me to share with you a lot of information here. I won't go through all of it, but it points out obviously that we're running industry excellent academies and Centre of Excellence academies at the Manchester College. The Sport and Public Services programme is part of the Centre of Excellence, and no matter what level that you leave school with, or you come from another college, or you want to join us from all different walks of life, the entry level right the way through to level 3 for our 16 to 18 programme, and then hopefully beyond after that. And also as well, we're looking at English and maths and all sorts of things like that I'll mention as we go through the slides. So with the study programme, like I said, with regards to our Centre of Excellence for Public Services and Criminology, we have 3 levels. We have a level 1, level 2, which are 1-year programmes for the public services students, and the level 1 and level 2 are there as a progressive format, so that you can go from level 1 to level 2 in the public services and hopefully on to level 3. Or you could go on to level 3 criminology. And what I always say to the students for level 1 and level 2, it's a 1-year programme where your results from school perhaps haven't been what you'd really hoped for, and for whatever reason, wherever if you've come from a different country, you've settled into the city, you've been made welcome at the college on the level 1 programme, possibly moving on to the level 2, and then obviously after that 1 year of study, then moving on to a level 3 programme. And for the public services, it's a 2-year programme, as it is with the criminology, 2-year programme for the level 3s, and level 1 and level 2 are 1-year programmes. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about the public services, and Holly will obviously assist me with the criminology aspect of our programmes of study. When you're at the college, in terms of our study programmes, we have entry requirements, obviously, to make sure that you hopefully settle in and you are on the right course. The most important thing from our point of view is that we want you to be successful. So when you're coming from school, you might be asked or suggested or encouraged to go on to a level 1 programme or a level 2 programme, depending on what your qualifications are from school. And also as well, if you come from the college or you haven't got qualifications, there'll always be a place for you on some aspect of our programmes. The level 1 is a range of GCSEs, so it's we accommodate any sort of level regards from 1 to 9 of the GCSE spectrum. For level 2, it's a little bit more demanding. Still a one-year program, as I already said, but you'd need a minimum of 4 GCSEs, grade 3 or above, including maths and English. And then when you go into level 3, it's a 2-year program, very demanding, very exciting, full of loads of different aspects, loads of different assessments and different ways of actually getting the qualification. But you do really need to have quite a good academic background. So therefore, we ask for 4 GCSEs, grade 4 or above, including maths or English. The beauty of the way that the programme of studies is structured is that if you're on a level 1 programme, you can progress to the level 2, regardless of your GCSE grades. So therefore, if you are in the college with us and you are a good student and you attend well and we like you and you like us and you like the course, then it is possible to move up to level 2, regardless of your GCSEs, as long as you've performed well at a level 1. And the same for level 2. If you want to progress on to level 3, then it is possible, because you've been a good student and we've liked you and you've liked us, as I've already said, then you can move up to level 3. Also alongside it, and one of the government requirements is that you follow your maths and your English. We place a massive emphasis on our students attending maths and English. And in the college, the maths and the English has some fantastic results, some of the best in Manchester with regards to qualifications and success on the courses. So in terms of the functional skills, that's the equivalent of your GCSE maths and English. So level 2 will be the same as GCSE, and the students will be put onto a level 1 programme if their grades are low, and level 2 if they are just below the GCSE level. But it is the equivalent of the GCSE qualification. If you come from school with a grade 3 in your GCSEs, then you are encouraged to do your maths and your English like the old-fashioned resit, and you'll sit your GCSE maths and English during the year, which makes up a full-time programme. Just to give you some examples with regards to the public services, it's a very different course to many others that run. We don't run it like school. We don't even run it like other college courses. There's a lot of variety, a lot of different learning environments, a lot of different learning experiences. And I'll just point out a few things. I'll talk from a level 2 point of view, but the level 1 and the level 3 are very similar. They're just in different demands. Obviously, the academic level at level 3 is much greater than the academic level needed at level 1. But the format and the structure are very, very similar. So, for example, the level 2 programme, which I'm in charge of, we run through it the Duke of Edinburgh Award. And if you're not familiar with the Duke of Edinburgh Award, it's a fantastic qualification in addition to your normal GCSEs, A-levels, vocational programmes of study. And a lot of employers recognise it. Universities and the police, the fire service, the public service in general recognise the Duke of Edinburgh Award. So we run the Duke of Edinburgh Award in amongst the programme, and you'll see on the list there in front of me, it says things like physical preparation for the public services, and part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award is you have to do at least 12 hours of physical fitness. The volunteering at the very bottom, volunteering, a huge part of the public services, and obviously sought for when you go for interview by the public services themselves. So volunteering is part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award as well. And we also do the outdoor adventurous education. And one part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award, if you're not familiar with it, is to actually go out walking or canoeing, go climbing, go walking through the day, camp overnight, independent, survival, and then the next day cooking your own food, packing up and coming home. So that is one part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and we run it as part of the Public Services Level 2 programme. And then amongst it all as well, we've got employment in the public services, which is common in all 3 levels. Opportunities to see how the army operate, we do residentials, opportunities to see how the police function, how paramedics function, the fire service. We will be out there in various places looking at how people work in the public services. Also as well, we call people in terms of guest speakers. Last year, and frequently, we have visits from the fire service, and they brought along a couple of smashed up cars, and they cut them apart with the big hydraulic clippers, I think they are, and cut open the cars with our students involved and seeing all the excitement of that. That's just one example, but there are many others. The telecommunications in the PS, if you are looking at the level 3 programme in particular, well, that's run by the Army themselves. So in previous years, pre-COVID, COVID obviously, is that our telecommunications unit has been run by the Army, where you go away for a week and you operate their telecommunication systems, where they set up a they set up a field operation, sending signals up to satellites and back down again, all within a couple of hours. Fantastic stuff. So I'll move on from there, but that's just an overview of what we do with regards to the public service units. If you want to see more about the units, you can actually go onto the website and see them in more detail. Right, I'd like to pass you on now to my colleague Holly. Holly's been with us for 2 years now, fantastic member of staff that's our expert in criminology.
Thank you, Frank. So something a little bit different now. The criminology course is set up quite differently to the rest of the course on the department. We are a level 3 applied diploma in criminology. Over the 2 years, you will study 4 units. So it doesn't sound like quite a lot, but we do have lots of really interesting things to cover in every single unit. So in your first year, that's your certificate level, you will look at different types of crime, and we talk a lot about media. So the media perceptions of crime, how it influences people's perceptions of criminals and crime. We do lots of case studies, and that's an examined unit. So all criminology is exam based. So that's another area where it's quite different. Unit 2, so that's your second unit through year 1. Is criminological theories. So if you're interested in psychology, there's quite a good amount of psychology in that unit as well. And then when you progress on to year 2, you look at crime scene to courtroom. So that's a lot about law and the forensic side as well. And then you move on to crime and punishment, which is a further development of crime scene to courtroom. So it's a really good springboard if you're wanting to go into lots of different areas of criminology or forensics or policing. I've got quite a lot of students that want to go into policing, but might not want to work necessarily on the streets as a police officer. They might want to go in a slightly different job role, become detectives, or go into other specialised roles in the police force. So they come to criminology, or they come from PS into criminology as well. Next slide, please, Frank. So yeah, here's a good range of degrees that you can go on to from the course. It is very heavily geared to people that want to go on to university. With it being exam based, it's a lot more academic than a lot of the courses in the college, really. So we do a lot of study skills to help those that want to go on to do their UCAS applications. And also with a lot of services, you need a degree now as well, if you are still going to go into, say, the police, for example. So you can do your criminology Bachelor in Science angle or Bachelor of Arts. You can do criminology with the criminal justice system, psychology, that's another really popular one. I've got a lot of students wanting to go into criminology and psychology or forensic psychology. You've got the law aspect as well. Criminology and sociology is very, very heavily geared in sociology, which is definitely my area of interest and background. You've got criminology with law. There are still some places that do it with forensic science and also with policing. So Liverpool John Moores, for example, they do an awful lot of criminology with policing. Other than that, there are some great job roles that you can go into as well, which we've listed at the bottom. But the access is quite endless with a criminology degree, really. It's just at this level, as a level 3, you learn so many different skills that you don't on other courses. So if you just did law or just did psychology, it's a bit more rounded with criminology to give you a little bit more background going forward onto a degree or a job role. In terms of the actual course and how we work, we do lots of different activities. So I know I say it's academic, it makes it sound quite stuffy, but really we do lots of activities, group work, we do some debates, we do poster work. So it's a really good range for people that come from different backgrounds and have worked differently as well. Again, yes, it's a level 3. For this course, you would need your minimum of 4 in maths and English to come onto it. The workload kind of demands your attention in criminology, and everyone really helps each other out as well. It's a really good community in criminology because it's quite a personal interest of people as well. So you get lots of really fantastic conversations between students because everyone's got a particular interest in the topic. So it's a good social group as well as a class as well. Okay, thank you, Frank.
Hi, and welcome to Manchester College Public Services Department. My name is Trevor Fenwick, and I'm the course leader for Level 3 Public Services. You're about to see our Level 3 learners take part in basic drill. They're going to be doing some marching, standing to attention, saluting, and turning. We run a number of courses in the Uniformed Services Department. These are from Level 1, Level 2 and Level 3 Uniformed Services, and we also do Criminology and Forensic Science. On our Uniformed Services courses, you will be asked to look at your career and how to plan for your career for the entry to your service. We look at developing your fitness and improving that fitness so you're ready to join your service. We look at equality, diversity and inclusion, which is very, very big at this moment in time. We look at hierarchy and routine. This is where we will do our drill, and we also look at the hierarchy within the services, which is very important, obviously, for disciplinary purposes. So thank you for stopping by. I've hoped you enjoyed your visit to our department, and we certainly look forward to seeing you in the future.
All right, sorry we had some sound issues there, so we are back now. So just moving on to the courses as a whole as well. So this isn't just our department, this is what we run across the college. I know me and Frank really like this, we've discussed this before, and we run the deal. So this is what you're essentially signing up to with us, and it's things that we like to look out for in our students, and you can get rewarded for them as well. So it's not just a case of we expect these of you. They are great for employability, they're great to put down on applications for uni and CVs and so on, but we do actually recognise them in you, and we actively recognise people for these things. So it's all about part of being professional, because being employable is really important, being respectful to one another, and throughout criminology and PS, being respectful to one another and the diversity in those courses is really important. Working together and being collaborative. You will always be working with people. There won't be a lesson necessarily where you're just going to have to sit there and be on your own. You learn so much from teaching one another, being proactive, helping to solve problems, getting involved, being committed, definitely hitting your deadlines, and just really showing that you're trying. Being responsible for your work, anything that you can do. Can you lead? Can you help other people? Being ambitious, aiming high, really have some good goals. We do work a lot on goal setting and just helping you achieve things. So yeah, it's really important, and we do recognise them. I was recognising people for it today, and I think for you as students or potential students, it's nice to be recognised for doing good things and actually being pointed out. So yeah, I think that's nice, and people get quite excited. People think it's a bit, okay, am I going to do anything with it? But once you get your first email or badge, then people kind of get quite hooked onto it and they want to do more. So definitely something to remember, and you'll get reminded of that when you join us as well. Okay, thank you, Frank. So you got your programme of study as well. So depending on what course you go on to, it might be a bit different. So for example, you got your English and maths. Obviously, if you've already got those, it won't include that. You've got your core qualifications, so that would say be your public services, or it'll be criminology. So then if you're maybe level 1, level 2, you'll be taking English and maths, for example. You've got support systems, so we have things like tutorials that really help. We have great achievement tutors that are dedicated to the course that you are on, and they will help you with all sorts. So things, sometimes with attendance, any well-being, if there's anything you might need, they really help. And they've got an even more hands-on approach now, delivering tutorials for us. We've got employability sessions as well, where you will learn all sorts. So it could be things from UCAS applications, university options, your study skills. I do a lot on study skills. So you will have an allocated employability hour also in your course. And we also do enrichment as well. I really kind of encourage my students to do anything they can and they want to do. I have one student, she likes to come in and help. She's one of my year 2 students. She'll come in and help my year 1 students, and that's an additional activity that she doesn't have to do, which is enriching her learning greatly. Actually, she learns so much from doing that. I had students doing a bake sale to raise money for a charity for a case that we were looking at actually in courses. So there is so much you can do at Manchester College and with these courses, and I think this department in particular, where we're very heavily geared towards community and the services, that it comes quite naturally to a lot of people that come on the course, and it does make learning a lot more fun as well, definitely. All right, thank you, Frank. Okay, and yes, so we really do kind of help with whatever your next step may be. So for example, on my course, I might have some students joining for just the certificate for the first year because they've already done other qualifications and they're 18 and they're heading off to university. Or there'll be people coming for the whole 2 years moving on to university. But it's not for everybody. Some people might want to go straight into employment, and that might be you. There's also the apprenticeship route. You could also go on to another college course. There are all sorts of options that we do help with in things like employability sessions. Achievement tutors can help with that. We also have been working with GM Hire, and they have been delivering talks that go through really thoroughly these options. So don't ever think that it's just geared towards university or just geared towards employment. We try and have everything there for everyone. Because there's just so much that you can do now, so many options for people that maybe learn in different ways, or just want to continue with education or go straight into work. So it's quite flexible, and we can make the learning about you as well. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Trevor Fenwick, and I'm the course leader for the Level 3 Uniform Public Services course at the Manchester College, based at Nichols campus. I specialise in teaching discipline, developing skills and qualities, and fitness. Work placement on our courses are very hard to come by within the services, so what we ask our learners to do is do work experience and volunteering in the communities. As a public servant, that is what you are there for, to help serve and protect the communities. Volunteering and work placement in the communities is seen as very valuable when it comes to interviewing for any public services that you wish to join. Working in the community could be anything from youth clubs, charity shops, and any other places that help in the community. An example could be a riding school where you help out at the stables, and you can take disadvantaged groups and disabled children and adults out on rides. A lot of learners tend to pick their own work placements that they wish to go to because they're quite passionate about certain charities. Or if you do struggle, we do have a work placement officer that can help you decide on what you want to do. My background is in management and leadership, hence the discipline and developing skills and qualities that I can bring to the course. I'm also participating in a lot of sports, and I also coach a couple of sports. I've also spent a couple of years with the fire service as a cadet instructor. So I have a breadth of knowledge of the workplace and also of various public services. On our course, we have had many learners come through, from being very shy young people to being very mature young adults when they've left us. Many have gone on to university to study professional policing, criminology and other courses. We had a number of success stories where people have joined the army and also the police. Most recently, we've had a learner, whilst still in her second year, has been accepted to Greater Manchester Police Specials, and she actually used a lot of her work placement and volunteering that she'd been doing. She'd been volunteering a couple of years before she started with the course and volunteered during the course, which enabled her their experience to be able to discuss and show the police what she's been doing in the community, which enabled her then to gain that place. What I would like to add is one last thing. It's very, very important. If you wish to succeed and have any chance or increase your chances of becoming a public servant, volunteer, volunteer and volunteer. Get out into your communities and volunteer. Put something back into the community.
I'd like to move on now, and Holly's mentioned quite a few of these already, actually, with regards to tutoring and our support for our students and our learners. But just a couple of extra things is that there's access to libraries, there's advice and guidance, and additional learning support if you have any learning difficulties, and also a chaplaincy with regards to any spiritual matters. So when you come into the college, you will be catered for in terms of an education point of view, but also from your well-being, safeguarding and just general direction in life. Then the college will support you. Just one more video with regards to employability.
Hello, my name is Ambakili Bell, Work Placement Officer for Sport and Public Service over at Nichols campus. Work experience opportunities range from Duke of Edinburgh to trips to the Royal Air Force over at Cosford. It is here where students get the opportunity to experience what life is like in the RAF. Other opportunities stem from NCS to general public service out in the community doing outreach programs. My industry background stems from working for the Manchester City Council for 7 years under the Sport and Leisure Department. I then moved on to work for Macmillan Cancer Trust for 4 years doing cancer rehab in hospitals in and around Manchester area. In regards to student achievement, and what I've been proud of over the years are the students that embrace work placement and put maximum effort into their work experience opportunities. This gives them a working relationship with their employer and something that they can go back to after they finish their studies.
Okay, so nearly finished. Just got a few more slides. Just going to very quickly just mention some things that we haven't mentioned. Duke of Edinburgh we've already mentioned, but things like sports at the college. You don't have to be on a sports programme to take full advantage of our sports courses, facilities and opportunities like football, basketball and American football, which we have sports academies in those disciplines. Also as well, if you're not aware of the fact that the college is investing, I should say, massive amount of money in new facilities, and we are going to be moving out to a brand new sports development out by Openshaw, and that would be ready, COVID allowed, would be ready if you are on a 2-year programme or with us for 3 years. You're very likely to access some fantastic state-of-the-art new facilities. Also as well, progression into higher education university, not just visits from MMU and other universities, but also our own pathways from level 3 onto our own degrees that we run at Openshaw. So there's opportunities to progress into higher education. So yeah, some exciting stuff there with regards to additional aspects added to your own courses. So how to apply? you might have looked at this already. Go onto our website, our tmc.ac.uk. Look for the course you're interested in. Hopefully it's public services. If not that, then criminology. Just joking, Holly. But if you are interested in either sports, public services, or criminology, then make sure that you search it and then apply. And good luck to you all. Love to see you, and hopefully you see what you want at the Manchester College, and you join our courses. Thanks now.
Lovely, thanks very much, Frank and Holly, for that. That was really useful. We've had quite a lot of questions through actually, so we'll get cracking with those. The first one's actually regarding criminology, so probably obviously one for you, Holly. The two sort of questions are, the first one is what jobs can you have from a criminology degree, and also what kind of topics do you study in criminology? Now, I think you've kind of half covered both of those in the presentation, but if you could just sort of briefly cover those two questions.
Yeah, so in regards to the first question, so what kind of jobs can you go into? Yeah, so we've covered half of it. So you've got things like policing, you've got my background, which is more the research side. So there are people that are researching crime or socioeconomic issues, and they are still under the heading of criminology, and they're the people that really start all the chain reaction that goes towards new policies or laws and social awareness of crimes, and so you learn about really the importance of these people through the course. A lot of job roles are very similar to public services, just another route that you can go through to them as well. That doesn't necessarily involve things like more army geared routes, but definitely the more police routes. And then you've got things that are involved in councils and helping rehabilitation, prison units as well. So it's quite massive what you can do with the course. And yeah, the topics that we cover, again, half covered. So we do look at media, we look at court systems as well, and the legal processes. We look at collecting evidence, but obviously we start at the very beginning with all the different types of crime. You think you might know them all, but there's always one that pop up that you don't know about, and we look at cases for pretty much everything that we cover as well. So it's not just lots of information, you get to do lots of research and find out new things as well.
Fantastic. There's another criminology question here as well. I think it's quite a quick answer. Can you do criminology as well as other things like performing arts as an A level? Yeah, I'll leave that with you.
No, not at the moment. It's just because you're pretty much around 18 hours is taken up of your week. So it's a standalone, and we do top ups. So you do have, at the end of your 2 years, you will come out with hopefully, depending on grades, sufficient UCAS points for university. But it's definitely geared towards people that want to do criminology in some aspect when they move on from college.
Okay, fantastic. And again, we'll stick on the criminology questions for now. There's a few about is it mainly exam or coursework based, which again I think you answered in the presentation, and then also how many years does a criminology course last?
So it's exams, definitely exam based. You'll have 2 exams in year 1, 2 exams in year 2. And they're at the end of each unit as well, so it's quite nicely divided up in that way. So we run the 2-year course that gives you your diploma, and then if you go on to university, it's generally your 3-year course, and then you can go on from there. You can leave university, go into a job, you can carry on with the masters like I did. So yeah, it's kind of however long you want to study it for, but with us it's definitely just 2 years.
Okay, lovely. And then also again, criminology. What campus can they study criminology at?
We're at Northington at the moment. So yeah, Northington campus. Again with Frank's level 2s. So yeah, but with new campus developments, we don't know what's going to happen. But at the moment, we're at Northington.
Okay, lovely. So next question we have, I'll try and find one for Frank now. I think it's his turn. So
You're okay.
I mean, there's a sort of a combination one here actually. So how can I become a police officer after doing either public services or criminology? What would my next step be?
Shall I answer, Holly? Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, with regards to the police, there's actually now, it's fantastic. There's numerous routes really into the police force. You could do the level 3 with us and finish that and then apply for the police there. You can become a police special, and you volunteer on a Friday and a Saturday night, and then you are guaranteed an interview with the police. Not guaranteed a job always, but guaranteed an interview. You can go away to university now and you can study, and then you can come out after university and join the graduate program, postgraduate program, sorry, and you actually go straight in and don't do the beat necessarily. You don't have to do the 2 years training. You do online in the job training in terms of that route. Just to point out one thing which we're very proud of is that one of our level 1 students a number of years ago, 3 years ago now, 4 years ago, started level 1 and then went on to level 2 and level 3. So hadn't enjoyed school really. His academic levels were quite low when he started with us, and his knowledge of the police and of public service in general was very low, and he really got involved with the police in terms of cadets, and he left us at level 3 and went straight into the Cheshire Police Force, and he's now a serving officer. So the progression routes are there with us from level 1, 2 and 3. But now, as I said, you can go on to university, get a degree, and you can actually get an enhanced sort of opportunity to get into the police force after university.
Fantastic. And just talking about progression, actually, one of the questions we've had through is where are students likely to progress to after each level on a public service course? So obviously police is just one of the routes you can go down, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, level 1 students traditionally go on to level 2, and level 2 go on to level 3. We have a fantastic success rate. I mean, my level 2s last year, nearly 70% of them moved on to level 3. Level 1s, I've got about 50% of them on my programme this year, and the other 50% either went into sport, because that's another opportunity. Because you work so closely with the sports programmes, you can move across to a sports programme. And so we transfer students over with success. Obviously, that's great that they're moving on in the college and just doing a slightly different discipline. So the opportunities are there to progress. And then some do go to other courses in the college. They're happy enough to move on to something that they really want to do. Yeah, level 1, level 2, and level 3, the progression's there.
Okay. And in terms of sort of working with employers, how do we work with local and maybe even national employers?
With regards to the public services, we have a massive range of involvement with employers out in Manchester and national as well, across the country. Ambo, a colleague there on the video, mentioned RAF Cosford. We do a number of residentials with the Army, with the RAF. We go and visit various places. Like I said, we bring the fire service in. We have police officers come in and talk about what it's like to be a police officer. We have visits to the Crown Courts or to various places where learning can take place in the employment environments, where they see exactly what it's like to be in the Army, what it's exactly like to be a police officer. So yeah, there's a wide range of opportunities to see what employment is out there. But also as well, we have the very strong focus now in the last 3 or 4 years. We've had this employability lesson. A specific time is dedicated to looking at employment, looking at the study skills, as Holly mentioned, the study skills required, which are vital if you're going to move on into a career and move successfully through a career. And so the employability focus with people like my colleague Ambo being the employment work placement officer, it's a great time now to actually look at what's out there and get out there and experience it.
Fantastic. We've had a question here, which may be a funny one to ask, but what would you class the difference between criminology and public services? How would you define the two so people can understand? Obviously, the fact they are different courses, and what's the difference, I guess.
Shall I leave that with Holly? Do you want to answer it, Holly?
Oh, it's a really good question. It's kind of, when you're teaching it and you're a part of it, it's obvious, but it's describing it. So I suppose if you're thinking about criminology, it'd be more similar to a type of A-level course. You sit and you work through classes that are delivered, and then you work towards an exam. With public services, it's very active. The units that are chosen might be things like drill, marching, and then as well as your health and fitness aspects of it, as well as learning about all the individual services. And that works on a coursework basis. So public service is great if you know what service you want to go into, or you're not sure and you want a range of it. Criminology is definitely for people that won't necessarily want to go into public services, or maybe want to go into police.
Can I just add to that, Holly, as well, please, if you don't mind? To add to that as well is that the public services can be a very varied learning experience. We have all sorts of different situations. I might set up in one of my lessons, I might set up a team building session just very, very quickly to go through 15 minutes, or I might do some confidence building for individuals. We do some public speaking, talk for 5 minutes about a blade of grass. It can be anything. A real good example would be I do news items. So start of a lesson would be just what's going on in the world related to public services, and it is very pertinent at the moment because of COVID. This time last year, a little bit later, sort of November, December, we were talking about the student that mentioned Australian bushfires and went on about Australian bushfires. In the middle of it, one guy said, "There's this thing coming out of China. There's a bug coming out of China." And we talked about it for 5 minutes, and I must admit, I laughed it off a little bit. And look where we are now. And the first time I heard about it was in a public services lesson that I was teaching. So I was learning as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, thank you so much both for your answers. We've had so many questions through this evening, and I can see Haley's worked her way through some of them on the chat panel there. So hopefully we've answered all of your questions there this evening. If we haven't, then please do drop us an email. You can email Haley. I think it's haleyfrancis@tmc.ac.uk. She's the head of the Department of Public Services, so she or one of the team will be able to get back to you about that. So I'd just like to thank Frank, Holly and Haley for this evening, and thank you all for joining us. We do have more TMC live events running until Thursday, so if you're interested in any other areas or anything else to do with the Manchester College, then please do check the website, which is tmc.ac.uk/TMC live. And you can register for other sessions there. If you'd like to apply for a place at the Manchester College for 2021, then we are now accepting applications. So if you visit tmc.ac.uk, obviously we are the #1 college in Greater Manchester, so we are expecting lots of applications. So if you are interested, we would recommend you get your application in as soon as possible. If you do need to speak to someone about applying, then our school liaison team are available throughout the day, and while TMC Live is taking place, they are available until 8 o'clock, so you can give them a call on 0161 674 3496. If you'd like to apply for this year, then you can still enrol. Our enrolment team again are available throughout the day, and then while TMC Live is happening until 8 o'clock, so their number is 0161 674 1080. And for learners with special educational needs and disabilities, we do have a transition team who are available to make the move from school to college a positive experience for you. So please do contact them by emailing transitionteam@tmc.ac.uk. All that information is there in the chat box as well, so if you just want to check that out, then you can do that now. So that's everything for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you.